Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
With your host, Brandon Tierney. In 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everybody? Get greedy. I want history, J-Rod. Like, I have no doubts the Knicks are going to win this championship. And it's going to be the most surreal thing that I think that I've ever, even more so than the 96 Yankees.
Yep.
You know, for me, just based on the timeline, all that stuff. I want the Knicks for eternity until somebody wins 16 straight, whenever that happens, if that ever happens. I want the Knicks forever to be splashed up on that screen as an amazing point of reference. Most consecutive playoff wins right there with the great dynastic Golden State Warriors and one of the, 10, 11, 12 best players of all time in Steph Curry. That is what I want. I want blood. I want destruction. And I want jubilation. And I want history, J-Rod. I very rarely get greedy with the Knicks. Very rarely. I think I've been very measured during this. You know, I think I said Knicks in 6 against the Hawks. I think I said Knicks in 5 in the NBA Finals. I know that. I think the other series were Knicks in 6. I think the Cavs was Knicks in 5.
Mm-hmm.
I want the sweep. I want a broom to smash over the head, not really, of Wemby. And I want Popovich to feel it. I want Duncan to feel it. I want Ginobili to feel it. I want the Alamo to feel it. I want those dopes who play that stupid cartoon clown music when they introduce the Knicks. I want the Knicks to beat the shit out of the Spurs tonight. And then once that happens, then I want to see the death march. I want to see the Spurs. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Well, I want to see those Spurs slinking into the Garden. The same arena that De'Aaron Fox once said is the most overrated venue in the NBA. It's old, it's ugly, it smells, it's not nearly what people think. I want to see that 20, 30-second death march of all these Spurs just trudging in, knowing that they're going to get their asses handed to them again in Game 4. That is what I want. Because obviously, if the Knicks win tonight, it is obviously a wrap. And I think it's a wrap anyway. And listen, I don't believe, now some people do, I've never been a believer in don't touch the money. I don't believe in that. I'll give you an example. Even yesterday, right? So, Jay, you want to laugh, right? Oh my God, it's so different. So my son had a USABL championship game last night, right? Which they won. Boys played really well. And my son pitched, and he pitched well, right? And, my wife is superstitious. She's like, don't stand by the fence because he sometimes looks at me, which I get. That's our own personal dynamic. And I don't really want him to look at me, but he does. Don't stand by the fence. Oh, you were sitting in the chair for the first 2 innings. I want to sit, but I don't believe in superstition. She thrown 5 at me yesterday during the game with a bunch of 11-year-olds, right? I've never believed in that. I don't believe if you lay out your uniform the same way or you wear the same socks or like Wade Boggs, you start to run at 7:17 or 7:07 like the same time every night, or you have the same meal before game. I don't believe in any of that. I believe in preparation. I believe in talent. I believe in urgency. I believe in toughness. And the New York Knicks have all of those in spades. So it is time, instead of falling behind by 14 points, it is time from the jump to come out. All right. And this is not a knock because, he's going to be the greatest Knick of all time once the Knicks finish the job in Jalen Brunson. But it's time for Jalen Brunson to come out and from the first quarter to the final buzzer, just be incredibly efficient and let everybody know, because right now Karl-Anthony Towns is the MVP. Which is amazing in its own right. All the stuff we've been through with Cat, he has been on an absolute mission. He has been an absolute man. But I want belt to ass tonight. I want ass kicking. I am calling for destruction. I want the Knicks to flatten them. And I think they've already done this, but I want to reach into that jersey and more like Mortal Kombat, take the heart and step on it. And I want blood squishing everywhere. I want annihilation tonight at the Garden, J-Rod. That's what I want, buddy.
Let's go.
Go.
I mean, I cannot wait to see the scene outside. Listen, I mean, obviously,
Oh my God.
you know, with the big DT coming to town, you know, it's going to be a little more measured before the game outside. But once that final buzzer hits, it's going to be pandemonium, bro.
And you were there on Friday. I think you got a little video. We'll have a little fun with that.
I'll splash it up at some point.
We'll split. I want to hear. We were obviously texting their game, but you sent me some stuff. But I want to give you a chance to talk about that. Hopefully, everybody had a great weekend. Let's get into the show. As always, today's show is brought to you by my friends at Sullivan Papain. Find them online at triallaw1.com. That's triallaw1.com. We'll also do 3 burning questions later. Remember the name, Sullivan Papain, and by Premio Sausage. Premio Sausage, the way sausage should be. Find them online at premiofoods.com or in your local grocery store. The amazing thing about this is that, like, they've had great moments and they've had clutch moments. The Knicks are not even playing particularly well. I mean, it's crazy. The first game, I think they were what? Somewhere over there. I think they shot 41% in game 1 and like 30 or 31% overall. They were out rebounded, but it really is just amazing. Like where the Knicks are, even if they lose a game. And listen, of course, I'm calling for the sweep, and I'd love to see it. And I do believe there's a great chance that they do. If they win tonight, they're definitely going to sweep. You know, tonight's the last little kickback, the last little push, the last little resistance, maybe, from a team that, by the way, is going to be a massive problem for a long time. You know, we keep talking about Wemby, but, you know, I mean, obviously, many of you, like, devout NBA fans know this, but Dylan Harper, like, the way he gets to the rim and how good he is, and Castle, and like, they are going to have the West, and I think by extension, the entire NBA on lock for a long time. So, you know, you want to get them now. And the beautiful thing about this team is every time they speak, like, we can allow our minds to go forward to whether it's a parade or after a win, you know, partying in the streets on 7th Avenue. Like, and tonight will be different with the president there, obviously. But, you know, they don't do that. Like, their focus is it's like it's Jedi-like. It's special. You know, we all know Jalen's phenomenal and Cat's been great, and we all know what their pieces do. And the sum of the parts are just, I mean, it's creating, number one, an all-time memory, but it's really creating visions and hearkening back. I didn't see them play, but it's hearkening back to the way Clyde's team played. I mean, just so connected, so playing for the guy next to you. There has not been a moment, not one. I mean, I don't care what player you're talking about, where the Knicks or their coach have allowed, you know, a little glimpse of them potentially looking past whatever game is in front of them to the culmination of a championship. It is a testament to their professionalism and their desire to rewrite, you know, not just New York. That's the funny thing. Not just rewrite an amazing all-time, because this will be one of the top 3 all-time chapters in the history of New York sports. It just will be. But by winning, you know, 13 straight, and hopefully by winning 2 more, they are putting themselves in a position to not only never be forgotten in the lore of the NBA, but to always be, even though it's a loose comparison, I'm not even saying they're better than the Warriors would step, but it doesn't matter. If you're the only other team that wins 15 straight playoff games, it doesn't matter what people think about the Knicks, or did they overachieve, or the East is weak, or the NBA is. It doesn't matter. You can only deal with the circumstances presented to you. And all the haters are coming out, and everybody's whining. The Knicks, are they really this good? Yeah, they are this good, you idiot. Do you know basketball? They are this good. They are this good because they are that team first, and they are that locked in. And it has been a pleasure. You don't want it to end. You want the championship, but I mean, I can watch these guys play every night, and it's amazing too. I know a lot of people have said this. Now, we won't really care tonight, but it is criminal. Like, who the heck's running the NBA? How is there not an NBA Finals game on Sunday night? I mean, there's nothing else going on, and there's no NBA Finals on a Sunday night. And again, it won't matter. I mean, and by the way, you know, you're kind of happy now because we have it tonight, and then we have it tomorrow to talk about. But going through yesterday, I'm like, how is there no Finals game on tonight? You know, the other thing too, Jay, the ticket prices, right? And I get it; it's been hijacked. I understand it. I feel very badly for those who have committed their money and their time and their energy to the Knicks all these years, who are simply priced down. But it is what it is. I mean, it's supply and demand, and when there's a massive, demand, supply is going to be limited, and the price is going to go up through the roof here. But the get-in price is right now. It's probably going to change $9,257 just to get in the building. Right? Game 4. I was looking at this. Game 4 is already over $13,000 just to get in, which obviously could be the potential clincher. Now,
we're getting 2 tickets.
What's that?
So we're getting 2 tickets.
You're getting 2 tickets. Yeah, I'm going to write a check for $27,000 as soon as we're done. As soon as I get my peanuts from YouTube, in a couple of days as we grow the show out here. So no, it's astronomical. I can't justify doing it. I told you the story going into the Finals where my wife.
I know, and it's even worse now.
I know.
At that point, you could even think about it. At this point, it's like we got to take out another mortgage to get a ticket. Like it's
crazy.
It's
going in,
ridiculous.
I think it was like maybe $4,000 or $5,000 a pop. She's like, "You got to take your son. You have to." And whatever. I'm not going to get back into the story. I'm like, "Yeah, could I do it? Sure." Do I think it's wise? No. Is there a part of me that really enjoys watching the games at home? Yeah.
Yes.
And a little more convenient. I get it. It's just I do enjoy that. My wife could sit there and watch. My daughter's not very much into it. I'm surprised. But it's and then the other thing too, if I was to take him to a game, and again, one game, but you get home at like it's one thing if I always let him stay up and watch these big games. It's another thing. Now you got to leave the guard. It's going to be a colossal pain in the ass. Get to the garage. You wait for 45 minutes at the garage. Traffic through the tunnels up the ass, up the wazoo. So, what are you going to walk in the door? 145? I mean, that's a little tough to justify. That's almost tougher to justify for an 11-year-old than it is, dropping going into the series $10,000 or $11,000. But, the one thing that I'll say about the ticket prices, as exorbitant as they are, as unfair as it's become, as 1% as it is, I mean, does it really matter? Now think about this. If the ticket price is $9,200, say versus $5,000, to me, if you could afford $5,000, can't you afford $9,000? Like if you could afford $5,000, can't you afford $9,000? If you could justify putting it on the card or however you pay for this, right? 2 tickets, $10,000. You could probably justify two tickets at $19,000 or $20,000. That doesn't make it right. But I do believe, and I do feel the narrative has been a little bit hijacked. Whatever, I get it. I'm empathetic to it because it's the blue collar fans, not as blue collar as it used to be, because the dynamics of the Garden changed a long time ago financially. So it's always been a very pricey hot ticket, but it is what it is, and I'm not going to waste a lot of energy on that because it's not going to change. It's only going to get worse for Game 4, And tonight, like, here's the other thing too. As I've gotten older. Now this, listen, I mean, I'd make the exception, if I thought it was, logistically fine. But tonight, and as I've gotten older, I've become more and more averse to, I don't want to say averse to crowds because I'm not some recluse. I mean, I'm going out to Borelli's again on Wednesday and the place was mobbed, over 1,000 people. I mean, in the streets, it was absolutely wild. I'll tell you guys about that in a minute. But if you're going tonight, like you've got to get there 2 hours early. And that's just not something that I want to deal with at this stage of my life. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to deal with it.
Dude, can I tell you, and this is crazy. This has never happened to me before. After the watch party, all right, also, it's a little TMI maybe.
So we want TMI. Go.
It was so hot outside of the arena because of the I've never experienced this. Like, it was hot outside, not just because of the weather, but also because of just the mass amount of people.
Yeah.
Dude, I straight up yacked.
No,
not
did
even
you really?
Not even from drinks, just from like heat bearing down on me from like the thousands of people around. Just like you literally, it felt like you were walking through molasses as you were walking through the air.
Yeah.
Like, it was like one of those nights where it was just hot,
Oof.
breath all up on you. You're in just crowds of people.
Yeah.
It was still fun, but
yeah.
dude, tonight, like I think I might be staying in Brooklyn.
Did you
potentially.
throw up on anybody?
No,
there's
in
no
one of those
room.
in one of those planters.
Are you serious?
Dude, it was bad because it
Oh,
was
man.
one of those where you go over to the side and then you walk back to your boys and you're like pretending that nothing even happened, even though they just saw you, and you're like, yeah, I'm good. Like, what just happened? Like, what even just happened, boys? Like,
See, I've never thrown up because of the heat.
yeah,
That's
it was
never
just
happened
like
to me.
I downed like 3 water bottles too in like seconds. Like I was
Yeah.
just
Oh my
like,
God, J-Rod, you gonna make it, buddy?
I'm gonna make it. Listen, I'm good, but I have to say, like, dude, these like it's like a tough mutter situation going out.
It
here. Like,
is.
you got to be ready for these events.
It is. How was the? I mean, outside of amazing, did they open up the top? It looked like the top was open. Did they have a full house?
Oh, of the dome of the garden.
Yeah, top shelf.
Yeah, dude.
They
It
did.
was full house, freaking packed. Just, I mean, the loudest I've ever seen an arena. There's just no question about that.
What are
Like,
they doing during commercials? They banging music in?
music? They've got the dancers. The main thing that
They
they
had
would
the
do,
dancers.
though, had the dancers, had the Knicks dancers.
Nice.
It was a really fun time. Like they really kept up with like an actual NBA watching experience. And also
Wow.
during all the timeouts, they had the big celebrity row. They'd show, who was it? It was Allen Houston. Larry Johnson was there.
Larry Johnson.
One iconic actor was there. I'm trying to think. But yeah,
Stiller was in San Antonio.
Stiller was in San Antonio. It was
Tracy Morgan, I think, was there. Spike was there. You know, we know the regulars. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Baldwin. I don't know. Baldwin brothers. One of those guys, maybe.
was alcohol allowed? Yeah, alcohol was allowed. Everything was allowed at MSG. It
Must have smelled like a weed fest. I mean, everybody had to be lighting up inside the joint. Like
not the actual joints, but yeah, people definitely had the vapes and stuff like that up in MSG. I mean, what was my favorite moment was I went to the bathroom with like a few minutes left when the Knicks were up 8. So before that big push from the Spurs even happened.
Yep.
The bartender behind something just says to me, he goes, "I'm going to make a lot of money tonight."
There you go. As they should. That's the other thing, too. Yeah, you put some more money in the pocket of people that can use the extra few bucks. Security, concessionaires. I love that aspect of it. That's great.
Yeah, big time. So I was like, let's go, bro. So
wow.
Just a great night. I mean, the craziest celebration I've ever seen. And I'm sure, but hopefully it will continue tonight. Hopefully it will continue.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's a couple of things at play here. Number one, you've got this immense drought, 1973. Everybody knows about that. You're flirting with history. 2 more wins. You've got 15 straight, ties the iconic dynastic Golden State Warriors. So there's that obvious aspect. The other 2 things that jump out, and I mentioned this before, and I really do believe that this is true. Now, it's subjective. It depends what team you root for, right? Namath's guarantee obviously is really up there. I think the 86 Mets, for a lot of different reasons, is up there. Maybe, Parcells is first with the G-Man, Lawrence Taylor. That's up there. The 98 Yankees, one of the greatest teams of any sport of all time. Like, those are team-oriented pursuits and levels of accomplishment. The other thing, though, like, if you think of all the champions, and I know that they're not there yet, and I know that the Spurs will come out and fight tonight, but Knicks are winning this series, so eventually we're going to have this conversation, right? The transformation of Karl-Anthony Towns is nothing short of, number one, of stunning and amazing. And, the more, and, listen, I got to own it. I mean, I was all over the guy. You guys know that. And I've owned that. I've taken the L on that. I didn't think that Karl-Anthony Towns was capable of playing with the ferocity and the focus, the fouls, whatever it might be, but the ferocity that he is demonstrating on a night-to-night, game-to-game basis. It really is amazing. And you think about, like, the champions, and I just mentioned a bunch of them. Well, I wasn't around for Joe Namath, but everybody knew Joe Namath was the man, Obviously, I was around for Lawrence Taylor's Giants. Everybody knew Lawrence Taylor was the man. And certainly by the second one, we all knew Bill Parcells was the man. Obviously, Eli cracking through, that elevated him to a place that without any Super Bowls Eli's a slightly above average NFL quarterback, so maybe that's a little different. The 98 Yankees, everybody knew that Jeter and Mariano, 2 all-time Yankee greats, 2 all-time MLB greats. But this is so unique in the sense that their best player, who has not been the best player in the series, that's Jalen Brunson. The best player has been Cat. But the best player on the Knicks is a very unique story of perseverance, of, draft disappointment, of kind of being disrespected by his former team. And then, once he got some real playoff run and he dropped 40 points, they're like, oh, yeah, we'll offer you money. We'll give you that bag. And Jalen's like, nah, I'm good. I'm going here. But his entire story's been one of being counted out. He's too slow. He's too small. He's not dynamic enough. He's below the rim. Is he going to really make it? Every level he's been at, he's had to prove to the doubters that, he's good enough. So that's one aspect of it. And then the other aspect, and maybe a little prisoner of the moment. I'll give this more thought, when they actually punctuate this and they win the championship. But to me, back to Karl-Anthony Towns, I really don't know that I've ever seen such a massive transformation and rewriting of a narrative like we have with this man, in our city. I'm not saying that there aren't maybe a couple of others that have written a bit of a similar story. Now, I understand of somewhere else, other towns, other sports, other cities, right? Over time, I know I was among the more harsh critics of Cat. I own that. I'm not trying to run from that. There's a lot of tweets. There's a lot of videos that support that. I got it. But I promise you I wasn't alone. Now, maybe I was in the deeper end of the pool where he's not it. I don't trust him. Is he really a dog? Is he really this guy? But I had company doubting what his ultimate ceiling was at the highest level. And by the way, that wasn't, I wanted to love Karl-Anthony Towns, and he's earned my love. And he's absolutely earned my respect. He's earned my confidence. He's earned my affection. And he hasn't just earned it, by the way, with his demonstrative play or his efficient play. He has really also earned it by the level of humanity. And just like when he talks about his mom, I mean, my goodness, great. I mean, wow, it is just powerful, palpable stuff. Now, that's all good on the human side, but there's got to be a correlation on the basketball side. And now both of those amazing stories are beginning to marry themselves. And again, I'll get this deeper thought when it's a wrap, but I don't know that any New York athlete, New York champion, has gone from the outhouse for many to ultimately what we all believe and certainly hope will be the penthouse. This drastically, this radically, this swiftly. Jay, I'm not going to lean on you for New York history. I mean, I've seen a lot more. Obviously, I'm older and all that stuff. But think about, even if I was really on the far end of the Cat criticisms and reservations, right? I wasn't alone. And he has gone through focused play, through efficient play. And we love this. Like the other night when he's like, you can't fucking stop me.
Yeah.
Like just, when he flexed on Wemby on that inside, but he dunked. Like, I just never thought that we would see that version. And it's nothing short of amazing. His transformation is 2 wins away from being all-time cemented as an iconic New York athlete and champion. And there's not many of them. Like, it's really a short list. If you really think about it,
crazy.
There's been a dearth of championships. I mean, all right, the Isles won 4 straight in the 80s, and all those Trottier, Billy Smith, Dennis Potvin, Clark Gillies, Al Arbor was the coach, Hall of Fame. Like, the names, but you don't. And it's not a diss at all. But it's more of a niche fan base. It's the Islanders, right? Messier, of course, with the guarantee, and but Ewing didn't get there. Clyde did, Jeter and Mo, like they're Eli and there's some, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
This is uniquely different that he he just, I don't know, maybe because he plays center and Patrick was so great and we weren't sure about his style and we weren't sure about his presence. And when you're a Knick, the ultimate goal is to be a champion, but there's got to be an element of toughness because even the 90s teams, which never won, they were shrouded in toughness. And he's done, I think arguably I really think it's the toughest thing to do in sports, Cat, Knicks aside, is to shed either a soft label or that type of label. And not only is he shedding it, he is obliterating it, man. He is the MVP so far, not Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with you there. Just the way he's stepped up, and man, like my roommate and I were just going back and forth about a lot of stuff last night. But like, that guy was a loser. Like on the Timberwolves, man. Like there was no other thought about his career other than like, yeah, he's like a pretty good all-star, but like he doesn't contribute to winning basketball. And that's just not even like that doesn't remotely resemble the player that you see today.
No,
like it's incredible. Like just the amount of effort and toughness and just great decision making that he shows now compared to the past. Obviously, the past this season, but I'm more so looking at the the earlier stages of his career, maybe even a few seasons ago in Minnesota.
Yep.
I mean, the juxtaposition's absurd.
It really, well, that's my point. It really is.
So here's a question. I've got two, I guess.
Okay.
Where do you think Karl-Anthony Towns after this is the third best Knicks center of all time?
Third best. I mean, he might be the third best Knicks center right now. Yeah. I mean, because there's only two. There's only really two you can go for. You're gonna go Pat. You're gonna go Willis Reed. Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me is easy. I think the deeper question, especially if he wins the MVP and the Knicks win the championship, and I don't want to have that discussion yet, but
sure,
how much does he shoot up? On the all-time Nicholas? Not that it's the most thing. Like it's very top heavy. Then it gets very thin. Like he's already flown past Carmelo Anthony.
Oh yeah,
That's not even waste anybody's time on that. I'll tell you what, when you look at, obviously, Pat and Clyde and Jalen and Bernard King for me and Carmelo for some, listen, it depends. Do they win it? Does he win the MVP? Does he get the extension, after next year when he can opt out? Is he around, 6-7 years with the Knicks? I mean, that would further shape and elevate him, but that's a discussion for downstream, but without question. I mean, the day that he got here, he was the third best defender.
You're not wrong.
What was the second question?
Second, and this is I'm not sure I have a true answer to this, but where would you rank Mike Brown in terms of the echelon of Knicks coaches?
God. Wow.
My roommate asked me this, and I was like, "This is an awesome question."
That's a great one. I mean, listen, obviously, you're going to go Red Holtzman 1, who won the 2 championships, Pat Riley 2. I mean, to me, that's really indisputable. Even though Pat Riley didn't win, so I guess you could dispute it. If Mike Brown does win the championship, but it's Pat Riley, and let's not get nuts here. All right. So Red Holtzman, Pat Riley, I would say Jeff Van Gundy 3. I mean, shit. I'm forgetting one. I'm forgetting Hubie Brown. All right. So the first 2 don't change. Red Holtzman, Pat Riley. I mean, Hubie Brown didn't have the great players outside of BK. I think it's Hubie or Jeff Van Gundy 4. And then it's obviously going to be Mike Brown 5. And then, Tom Thibodeau. I mean, if he wins, he's got to pass Tom Thibodeau. He's gotten to the finals, so you can make the case that he already has, even though Tom Thibodeau laid the foundation for this team. That's a really interesting one. But then again, like, even though I would still place Pat Riley, and I generally don't listen, I'd be contradicting myself if I just used championships as a barometer.
Yeah.
Think about that. We've had that discussion before. Like, there's quarterbacks who have played in the NFL who I know are better than Eli Manning. Eli's got 2. And, not to shade Eli, certainly not to get down that rabbit hole, but for those who elevate Eli maybe to a place that, historically, I've never really believed that he belongs, with all due respect to the great Eli Manning. If he had 1 championship, that noise would be muted. Now that he's got 2, it's a little tougher to push back on. but that's not my ultimate barometer. It never has been. Like whether it's Barkley, whether it's Pat, whether it's Malone, whether it's Stockton, whether it's others, right? AI. But man, I mean, think about that. I think the more compelling question would be this. Because I gave you my top 3 or 4 for the Knicks. I give Mike Brown when he wins the championship this year. If they were to ever win another one with Mike Brown.
Oh my gosh.
Well, now he's got, I don't care how good Pat Riley was. You can't have a guy who won 2, looking up at a guy who won none.
Yeah.
You can't do it. So that's where it gets fat. That was your roommate?
Yeah.
Now, why couldn't you come up with a question like that? I mean, how could your roommate come up with one?
Listen, I could have just lied and said I came up with it.
That's true.
But no, I mean, we were just going back and forth on a bunch of like Knicks, basketball, baseball stuff last night. And
I respect the transparency. Always give credit,
Yeah.
You always got to give proper attribution. Try to lift others' material is not the way to get through life here.
No,
My God, this is going to be absolutely bonkers tonight. And I am very curious. I can't, I was talking a lot about this over the weekend with my buddies, like at games, watching the kids. I mean, there's no way that President Trump is on the floor.
No.
Some people think he might be.
No, are they mad?
I mean, the way that he's built and the way that he's wired, I don't know how you could possibly do that. I don't know. I mean, I would have to think, just based on Secret Service protocol, that he's got to be in a suite. He's got to be. But and I believe that's where he's ultimately going to be. But if you see him courtside,
I see him courtside, Mitchell Robinson's about to have the greatest game of his life.
Yeah. I would be surprised. I wouldn't be stunned. And then you throw the New York City mayor into it. It's going to be an absolute crazy.
Oh, fest. Dude. I mean, there's going to be a unifying picture that comes out tonight. Oh boy.
With Trump, with Mondami, you think together?
150%. 150%. It's going to be them in the suite, both rocking the Knicks cap.
I don't think they'll be together. I
really?
No, I don't think so.
Not in the same suite, but I mean, they will. I 100% think there's going to be a photo op tonight with the
I'd love to see that. Listen, if we're talking about the Knicks unifying New York, let's use that and let's unify it further. Yeah. And by the way, the reason it's more of a logistical thing. It's not because Trump is on the right and Mondami's more on the left. I don't mean that's why they wouldn't interact. I actually think that I know that Trump has spoken to him before, and he said some fairly nice things, and they at least seem to have a cordial relationship.
Sure.
So it's not that they're averse to meeting. I just don't know how you navigate that in
having 2 major political figures in one
I don't know
box.
I don't know how you possibly do that, man. Good God, oh me. It is just, it's amazing though. It is amazing. What is this here? He's cursed the Mets. Don't let him near the Knicks. Well, the Mets are starting to regenerate a little bit here. How about Carson Bench 5 for 5?
Oh,
I mean, listen, I'm not going to get into much baseball here. The Mets won the series, and Juan Soto went 0 for 11. That's not a bad sign. That's not a bad sign at all. But some people said that with the mascots, the jinx, whatever. Can we talk about the bench winning the 3rd string and the refs trying to steal the game? Now, that was we can, and we will. And thank you for that very much. Now, here's my problem with the officiating from the other night. Okay, so they rescind the technical foul on Mitchell Robinson. Fantastic. It means nothing. Much like when you get that, the final 2-minute review. Oh, yeah, we called the travel when we shouldn't have, or we missed a toe out of bounds and we didn't review it for whatever reason. We just want to let you know we messed up. Great. What am I supposed to do with that? To me, it's really, and I know it's for transparency's sake, and I think a lot of that is tied into the betting market. I believe that, where you've got to at least present a very open and transparent presentation of the sport, because enough people have their own theories that everything's fixed, which I don't believe. I'm not saying that there's no crooked people, and we've seen coaches and players get in, and Donaghy, the ref. I think it's on the up and up. I do, but the problem with the other night is that, and I tweeted this, and I don't tweet much during these games, but they let them bang both ways. It was a finals game. It felt like a steel cage death match where they, that contact, they were letting them go through it. Quite frankly, was it Dylan Harper or was it De'Aaron Fox? I think it was Dylan. There was a play at the rim. I'm like, wow, how did he not get the foul there? He got absolutely crunched at the rim. Like, it's one thing to me. It's now, as long as you go both ways, that's fine. It's one thing. My problem with officiating, like, listen, if you get the forearm that, or if you do something that truly impedes player A from getting to player X from getting to point A to point B, that really has an impact directly on the set, well, you got to blow the whistle, right? I thought they did a really good job of letting them bang and letting them get after it and play basketball and set an officiating tone early. And then they deviated from it. That's what's got to drive you nuts. It's not that different. It's a matter of fact, it's a different sport, but it's the same exact concept. It's like an umpire who, and now I know it's a little bit different with ABS, obviously, but, who is giving a pitcher the upper part of the strike zone. And then, for the first 3-4 innings, and then you get higher leverage spot, whether it's a different pitcher or the same guy, and the strike zone shrinks. Like, players are so in tune with what is allowed, what is not, that when you present them a blueprint or a template of how we're allowing you to play tonight, and it's different officiating crews, so every night's going to be a little different, right? And then you deviate from that during the game. Number one, it's incredibly frustrating as a fan, but it's unfair. It's unfair. Like, you can't have that. That's not allowed to happen. And that's where the NBA's got to be better. The number one, Alvarado, the play with Wemby, you could, now I would not have made that a flagrant 2. I mean, let's not get nuts, but there was nothing. I mean, not a common foul, not a flagrant 1. He grabbed Alvarado, but I love that dude. That dude is he is, I don't know how else to say it. He's the smallest dude on the court. He's got the biggest sack in the building. Me and Sal, we used to have this thing on the fan, J-Rod, called the sackometer. The sackometer. How big is somebody's sack? Just measuring.
It's like the big bells.
Of the sack. And this guy's sack is just, it's like Santa toting around the toys.
His back's broken. His back, he's leaning forward.
It's crazy. I love it, and it's just he's not playing 20-something minutes a night, but he comes in and he's just a freaking pain in the ass. You hate playing against that guy. You hate it.
Yeah.
So so they missed that foul on Wemby, and that was egregious. And then with Wemby and Mitch. Wemby was the initiator. Mitch didn't even do anything.
That was terrible.
Like, it's one thing, and this happens a lot. And Oakley used to be great at this, right? And by the way, last week, Oak still chirping at Pat. Oh, give it a rest, dude. I mean, stop jumping on these shows and stop dumping on Pat. Nobody cares. And I've got great respect for Oak. I do. Like, I don't ever want to come across as, tough guy. Oak is a man. Oak is a Nick. Oak was a dog. But Oak sounds like a scorned lover and a petulant child lately. Dude, just let it go. They're not inviting you back. Why would Patrick welcome you back into the circle? You've been dogging him for years. So I've got no sympathy for Charles Oakley because he pretty much made his own bed. And we all make mistakes, and we all have like a moment in a relationship where something goes awry, and you got to man up. You got to man up in private. And I always thought, listen, it doesn't matter now with Oak, but just as a little sidebar, Oakley always struck me as the kind of guy, whether it was, a beef over a girl, and these are all documented things. I've read a million stories on this, and I've talked to a lot of people that actually saw this stuff. Like, before a game, shoot around, or somebody owes him money from a card game. Like, if you mess around with Oak, he is walking out while you're doing in the morning, not pre-game, morning shoot around, and he's going to find you, and he's going to smack you. He's done that many times, and I always appreciated that. Number one, it's so old school. I imagine being that tough. You just walk in, you do whatever you want. Like, I can't relate to that. It's amazing, right? But he never did it with cameras around. It was always, hey, you did this. You owe me that. Where's my bleeping money? Oh, no? All right, well, we got a problem. And he did it. He didn't make a big scene. He did it when it was pretty much just the team shooting around, And I am very surprised. It's like the new persona of Oak during this amazing Nick run, all-time Nick run, is really counter to who he's always been and what he's always been about. He's always been old school. And to me, this deviation from the old school mentality, it's not a good look. It's just not a good look. But one thing that he was great at was, well, number one, if you hit him first, he's going to hit you harder. But he was so good at getting that first shot in, and then I didn't do anything. Then the other guy gets whistled. And, Mitch doesn't start trouble. Embiid a couple of years ago grabbing his leg, which was a big issue in the playoffs, obviously jacked him up. He's not afraid. He's not going to get punked, but he's not dirty. And I like that was a level of egregiousness that cannot happen in the NBA Finals. It just can't happen. That was awful. So tonight, if they're going to be ticky-tack, which I don't think that they will be, and I certainly hope that they're not, at least be ticky-tack from jump. If you're going to let them play with force and you're not going to stagnate the game with whistles, don't change mid-game. You got to be consistent, Jay.
Absolutely agreed. I mean,
Jay?
That had to be the most, and granted, listen, it's the biggest game in franchise history, in however long, maybe if ever, really. So I understand it, but yeah, that was like the most, what was that call? Or, like I've ever heard in a room before.
It was
like,
bad.
It was a rough call.
That was a bad one. This was interesting, and it's funny. This came up. I was telling you we were talking about this over the weekend. Like, where would President Trump sit? Charlie F. 6675. Thank you, Charlie. You see Trump on the main floor during UFC events. True. NBA games are different, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the court. This will be Trump. It will be Trump's call after the Secret Service advises him. Now, again, going through this political rabbit hole, I'm not going to do that to you because I try to stay away from that. But one thing about the UFC crowd, number one, Dana White. I think we know which way he leans. And I think that the fans kind of, not all of them, of course, that's a massive generalization. I'm not trying to box anybody in, but generally speaking, I feel like it's, you kind of know, the crowd at a UFC fight, at least those in attendance.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't know. I'm not even sure what kind of reaction he gets. I think it's going to be a good reaction, but I think it's going to be a good one. I do. That's my opinion. Do you think different? I think he's going to get
differently.
a
I definitely think. Listen, it depends how rich the New Yorkers in the building are, I guess.
You know the answer. I mean,
super.
But hold on, Jay. I was going to say it's not always about, affluence and all that stuff, because there's a lot of, blue collar people who want change. I don't even want to get too much into it. That voted for Trump, obviously, and still believe in him and still root for him and still some revere him. To me, like, yes, safety is a massive issue. But I really don't even want him taken away from the game on the court. That's
it. That's it. Like, for me, you just want the one camera shot.
Yep.
And then just leave it be. Like, just the one, boom. President Trump, get the cheer, get the crowd reaction. Boom. Let it rest.
Mm-hmm. Dude, look at this guy. This goes back to the old sackometer. Yep, that sack's dragging on the ground. I mean, he's going to need crutches after the series. It's been dragging so heavily there. $9,200 to get in tonight. 92. And game 4 is 13,000, bro.
Guys, drop a super chat. If everyone drops how much $200 right now, we'll have enough for 2 tickets.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, let's go. What else we got here? I get the sentiment for sure. It's a shame and unbelievable. Real fans can't go to the Super Bowl championship games because the prices of the tickets are so exorbitant. Yeah. I mean, listen, that's another, you're right. I don't disagree with that, but it's not like it just happened this year. Even Yankee tickets, playoffs gotten very expensive. I think one of the better deals, really, without going on some tangent that gets away from the Knicks, I think one of the best deals in sport is really the NCAA tournament. And I don't mean the Final Four. Where you're playing a football day, although you could get a shitty seat all the way up in a 70,000 seat venue, barely see it. And you could say that you were there and have fun before, pregame, postgame, whatever. But to me, like, you go to some of these early sites like Thursday, Saturday, Friday, Sunday, you could get a very, and they're smaller venues, 12, 13, 14,000 seats.
Mm-hmm.
You could get a reasonable ticket. And the good thing is you basically could stay, for the whole first session.
Yeah.
So not everything's like that. Believe it or not, the Masters, everything that now they just operate on a different planet on many different things. But Augusta, they're known for obviously no phones and certain words you can't say, like you can't. They're not fans; they're patrons. I mean, they're a little bit hooty tooty for me, but they keep their prices really low. You can get a beer at Augusta, I think, for like $3-4. You get a hot dog from like that. Yeah, they're not looking to make money; they're looking to keep it prestigious. So, bottom line is, whether it's a Taylor Swift concert or the Super Bowl or the NBA Finals, and I know that there's price disparities, but if LeBron was playing tonight, at Staples Center, the price is going to be the same. That's the way it goes. Can you imagine if Jordan was playing now?
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Well,
first of all, the Knicks wouldn't be in the finals. Probably start with that. It would have bounced them again.
This weekend, I looked at Michael Jordan's career numbers, and I took a second look at everything I've believed.
It's
like,
not even
up to this point. That's what I mean.
So we had a little revelation with J-Rod. So now you finally understand that.
Oh, dude. Now I get it. Yes. Yeah. When I see a dude who averaged 37 points in his third season in the NBA, what else are you supposed to say? Well, that's the best player of all time.
I know. And by the way, Jay,
I just wish I got to. That's like one of. It's not great. I mean, I couldn't do anything to change it, but I just wish I could have watched this dude play.
He was, you did. You got to see, to me, the closest, replication of MJ and Kobe.
Yes.
Just imagine MJ better, whatever percentage you want to, and rest in peace, Kobe. Just I still can't believe he's not with us. When I think about it, it's so sad.
It's the most cognitive dissonance, I think, celebrity death ever.
Yeah.
I just dude, when it happened, it was just the most unreal.
Stunned.
Yeah.
Stunned. I remember where I was.
Of course. I was holding a glass table for my mom at her store. I was helping her move stuff. And I was carrying a table, and my phone was resting on the top of the table.
Oh, wow.
I got the Bleacher Report notification.
Is that how you found? Wow.
Yeah, dude. I was just, oh my God.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, Elvis, in 19, I remember that vaguely. I was basically a baby. And I remember we used to have this little radio on the windowsill of the little window of the smallish kitchen, and my dad was working, and I don't remember if I heard it on the radio or if I heard my mom say it, either to me or maybe my Aunt Angie or my grandma, or maybe she called my dad. But I do remember that moment for a second. Thurman Munson, obviously, in '79 with the Yankees. But and now I by no means am I trying to illuminate somebody's death over somebody else's in terms of importance, but Thurman was a local, where Kobe was a world global. Yeah. No, that was absolutely brutal. But
I love this comment.
I'm going to get to it in a second, but yeah, you didn't see MJ. I know you saw all the highlights, but imagine Kobe better, same mindset, same disposition, same DNA, man. All right, yo, BT, tell me why after game 2, I looked at my dad and was getting all choked up, which made me and the boys get all choked up. Unreal. 2 more. Yeah, I get choked up a lot. I have not felt that yet with the Knicks. I get there easily. I think you guys know that about me by now.
Yeah.
I told you.
I wonder, do you think you're going to cry when the Knicks win?
I don't know, man.
Honestly, it doesn't hit me like you will. Obviously, this is a big moment for your sports fandom, and there's no.
Well, big's a bit of time out.
A big
is a bit of an undersell.
Big gist. Big gist.
Okay.
Big gist.
Go ahead.
But I think there is, and this is my thing. I think when sports fans cry when their team wins, there's some people who do it because they want to say, yo, I cried when my team won, da-da-da-da. And there's some people who really feel it. If you don't cry when your team wins, I don't take that as anything less than someone who does or anything.
No, I'm not an actor. I can't cry on command.
It doesn't, for some reason, this Knicks run, it's been emotional for certain. It's been surprising. It's been jarring, but it doesn't feel like the kind of thing where you're going to be crying after going, I did it.
I won't be. I don't think. But here's the thing: you're also, and this is just based on your life experience and your age, so I get it. You are trying to understand the depth of what it means, but you can't. You can think you can, and you can, and I love that you tried to. It's great, but like sadness or tears of happiness or everything is generally intertwined over time, and that's why. And I remember telling you guys last Monday, we had our last game with the group that I've coached since my son was 6 and all those other boys were 7, couldn't even speak. I mean, I was crying. I mean, so I worked to the point where I actually had to write a text message, and I gave it to my son. I said, text the boys, because there were so many things I didn't get out. I am, that I wanted them to really know what was in my heart. No, I think to me, and I have no problem admitting, I get tears in my eyes often. But it's about, I really do. And my dad wasn't that way. He's gotten like that. He's gotten a little soft, a little mushy as he's gotten older. He's calmed down a lot, as that happens to all of us. But to me, I'm very sentimental. And I'm still sentimental in sport, but I think for me, it's going to be more of like, fucking finally.
Yeah.
Let's go. Finally, we can watch what I really never thought that we were going to watch. And like, if I didn't cry in 96 when the Yankees won, when I was there, I don't think that's not me at all. And I am much more of a sentimental type and a bit of a crier over life things.
Yeah.
And this is a life. By the way, I mean, it is a life thing. It's a pursuit. It's the definition of a life pursuit for many of us. But to me, there's got to be, as I've gotten older, who the hell is texting me here? Enough with this stuff. As a father, as somebody in my early 50s, seeing my kids, and like, I get upset when I see a Facebook memory and I see like 2-3 teeth missing in their uniform for the first time, or Christmas morning, or something with the Easter bunny. Whatever. Like, to me, that's how I've grown, and that's how I've matured as a man.
Yeah.
But for my sporting soul, I need this, and we need this, and we're gonna get this. Period. Yeah. We're gonna get it.
Oh.
Let's see here. Yo, BT, let's go Knicks. Big shout out to the DC. Oh, there's our guy, Benny.
Let's
Benny
go.
Boom-Bots. What a name. Benny Boom-Bots.
I know. It's almost like Bada Booms, but then we've also got another guy who views, and he actually comments on a lot of videos, and his name is Boba Bombs.
Boba Bobs.
So we've got just a lot of these B's out here.
Benny Boom-Bots is tight. Thank you,
That's
Benny.
Cool.
How about we got Just Plain Fishing 5354?
Sweet Lou.
Oh, yeah. We know Sweet Lou down in Florida. Watching the Knicks run with my 12-year-old son has been special. Cat jersey on order for him. Finished them. LFGK.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Get
I
that
mean,
jersey.
it's funny. I might have to get a cat jersey for him. He's got a Jalen jersey.
Okay, so
he's got the Brunson jersey. He had KP when he was like a baby.
Yep.
He was rocking the Randall.
Oh, that's awesome.
When he first started playing hoops, and now it's all Brunson. I might, but I think he hears. See, I think he hears Daddy. Cat was soft, and like he calls him Snail. That's his nickname for him, Snail. I don't hear it as much. But like the slowish moves or the slowish mannerisms. And finally, I told him Friday, I'm like, dude, you gotta stop dogging him. If I've stopped dogging him, you better stop.
You
dogging
definitely gotta.
Because if you're still dogging him, you ain't watching. And if you are watching, then you don't know basketball the way I think that you know basketball.
Yeah.
You better stop dogging this man. And he's starting.
There we go.
He's starting
Yo.
to get it there.
In the Knicks team store,
yep.
How much do you think of Carmelo? Granted, yes, obviously this is gonna be expensive. Let me preface that.
Yep.
How much do you think a Carmelo Anthony Mitchell and Ness Knicks jersey costs?
Carmelo?
Yep.
I know that they're not cheap, man. I had some Jet stuff back then. It's a big company. Not signed, right?
Not signed.
Home, does it not that it matter? Just curious. Give me a retro. What do we got?
Blue Latrell Sprewell
Got
style Knicks jersey
Got
with
it.
the black.
The black.
side.
Yeah, by the way, that's what this is from.
Clean, best Knicks jersey of all time.
This is a little bit earlier. I actually got this in like 2003, so obviously before Carmelo.
Knicks need to bring that back for OG. He would look so clean in one of those.
He looks good in every uniform.
Yeah,
that's one of the, like his by shoulders. He just looks great. I would say about $3.99.
No, okay. You overshot it, so it was $3.25. But to me, I was like, that jarred me. I was like, well, I thought it was going to be like, I don't know, 170, maybe 200. But
you know what it is, though? Think about this. One of the reasons why Carmelo, like that jersey, can really, can really command that kind of money is because it's also Syracuse. It's also Denver. He's also an OG. Like Carmelo's got clout in every pocket. You know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, the amount of Q's jerseys I even saw at the Yankees game yesterday were pretty impressive. Like
for Carmelo?
No, dude, a dude had this guy. I don't know if you remember this player, Jean Bolajak. He was a bench warmer on my years of Syracuse basketball, and this dude at the Yankee game had his jersey on, and I was like, "That is."
Are you serious?
Also, man, what a game that was yesterday.
Yeah, I know. You look at J-Rod's been going to a lot of Yankee games.
That was a war of attrition, bro. And then also, I'm a Red Sox fan. Sorry, Unleashed fam.
We know that.
I decided yesterday that just cemented it.
Yeah. And how about that horrible throw by Volpe at the plate? I mean, good God.
Dude, he's
the same player.
Brutal yesterday. It was tough. It was tough when he went up because he was the last batter in that terrible 8th inning for the Sox too. And I was just watching and I was like, man, the Red Sox are getting out of this inning now. Right when he got it. It stung.
He's just not a shortstop. He's going to have to play second, and he's probably not going to be a shortstop for the Yankees for a whole lot longer. Can't get into that now, but he had a little flicker. Now you're starting to see that dissipate again, and I mean that's just a bad throw. That's a bad throw. It's offline. It had no juice to it. All right, from Vince 908, what's going on, Vince? In 1970, when the Knicks won the championship, the Daily News recorded an album. First side regular season, second side playoffs. Just gets me pumped up even more now. So I guess you still listen to it. Going to New York, PS was only $1. Now, what do you mean the Daily News? Why would the Daily News record an album?
Is that that might be a band name? I'm checking this because this is definitely something I would be into checking out.
That's a good point. All right. I don't know much about the Daily News there.
Neither do I. No, trust me. Neither do I. I'm not seeing anything.
All right. I gotcha.
Yeah, Vince, follow up on that.
Let us know, Vince. I want the answer for that. I'm a little older than you. Born in BK, moved to Long Island, currently in Spring Hill, Florida, but I always bleed blue and orange. Let's go Knicks. Yeah, the crazy thing too is like it's come up. I remember maybe right before the final started, we did a show. You asked me the question, what would be more meaningful for me, a Jets Super Bowl win or a Knicks championship, right? And I've been asked this question before over the years because, both teams have been in the tank forever. Obviously, I'm going to have a lot of detractors. When you do what I do, I understand not everybody loves you. I get it. But I do think most people have always appreciated my passion and my commitment to certainly the New York sports scene. I'm not a front runner. I think most people think that I know my stuff. And I've been asked that a lot. And, my answer's always been, and I thought like it's a tough one. It's not like I'm like, Knicks or Jets. Like it's not easy. I've always been consistent in my answer, and my answer's always been the Knicks. And one of my reasons for it has been, and it's playing out right in front of us. And I've always said, and it's not the only reason, but it's a big reason, right? I say, listen, Knicks win the championship. This was back in theory, if the Knicks win a championship, think about the run that you're on. And I've always pointed to the frequency of the NBA playoffs versus the Now, I'd like to get a Super Bowl as well, but like the isolated successes and watching it and viewing moments as a football fan. You win an NBA championship, it's not like baseball, very often, where you might have like the Cardinals win 83 games and they're a meandering team, but they get lucky, wild card, whatever. It's more random. The NBA still like basically, there's a couple of outliers, but basically every team that wins the championship, and there's obviously varying degrees of greatness. There's dynasties, there's all-time players, all-time teams. Like the Pistons of 04 were champions and it was a great team to watch, but people kind of forget about them unless you're a devout NBA fan. But, Chauncey Billups, killer, Rip, killer, Ben Wallace, dog, but none of those guys are among the greatest players of all time. But together they mesh kind of like these Knicks, and there's some loose comparisons between that Pistons team and this. I think this Knicks team has more skill myself, but whatever. And generally when you win an NBA championship, you've had a very good regular season. Sometimes you win 72 games like the Warriors, but generally you're north of 60. Generally. Now the Knicks were south of 60. But still a nice solid number, even with some of the valleys and peaks that the season brought. So you enjoy the regular season, late mid-October, all of November, December, January, February, March into mid-April, tax day, playoff start right around mid-April. It's basically mid-June and we're still rolling. So to me, the frequency and just the sheer volume of experiences that you get when your NBA team gets to the finals and then ultimately and hopefully punctuates it with a championship, that is 2 months of, watch parties and text chains and, getting up bleary-eyed the next day and going on fumes. And, when you sometimes you're, I don't know if you guys ever get this. I do. It's like sometimes when you're so tired, you almost get this false clarity. And this false, like a zone, that's hard to explain. Like there's been a couple of times, I don't know when, I just know that it's happened. Like maybe like I was on air the night before doing a St. John's game or travel, whatever it might be. And then it's like, all right, 10 o'clock with Tiki or Sal, whatever. And obviously now, and I'm like, man, I'm a little dragging today. And then that light goes on and it's like 2 hours or back then 4 hours of, forceful, focused content and locked in, even though I'm on fumes, right? And now not just broadcasters go through that, fans go through that. Like how many times, if you're like me, and I know that you are, it's not like, all right, game's over, see you tomorrow, let me go to bed. I mean, I'm watching Wally and I'm watching my guy Alan Hahn and Bill Pito and Monica on MSG. Maybe I'll flip over. I don't watch a lot of SportsCenter at all, but with this stuff, I'll put it on. I've obviously got First Take on now. My guy Steven, like you just consume. You're on your phone, X. All right, let me check out the highlights. Let me go to this YouTube. This guy. It's just all encompassing, and it's not really like that in football. It's a totally different energy at a different speed. And the Super Bowl has a higher magnitude in the country than the NBA Finals, and the ratings bear that out. It's just a fact. But if you win the Super Bowl, all right, you're going to have a good regular season, of course. And then you're going to probably maybe get a first round bye. If not, you're going to dismantle whomever in the first round in the wild card. And then you're going to win the divisional. And then you're going to win the conference championship. And then you're going to have a couple of weeks to, enjoy the moment and, all the stuff that's going on for Radio Row. Then you watch the Super Bowl and it's over. So it encompasses about a month or so, but it's not the same nightly watch and the same day-to-day, just deep commitment. So that's why, my answer has always been the Knicks. That's a big part of it. And then the other reason is it's my greatest memories, even more than going to, Yankee games and even a lot of Met games, because my dad's a Met fan, as you know, going to Shea Stadium. And baseball's my number one. You guys know that. But there was just something about the Knicks. There was something about the Garden. I just walk, and don't get me wrong, like I would walk in the old Yankee Stadium, and like I couldn't wait to see that first piercing, swath of green. Remember those skinny little tiny tunnels, and you're waiting the old cement and concrete. And somehow my dad, and trust me, we weren't rich. He would always get good tickets somehow. And so we'd be going, first baseline, third baseline, sometimes behind the plate, not first row, but maybe 20, 30 rows back. And as soon as I turned, I got a pretzel, I got a magazine, I got a Coke, I got a hot dog, and boom. I'm like, this is what I want to do. That's what I want to be. I want to be a baseball player, right? But the Knicks always just felt a little different, man. A little different. I think that I actually, and this is, I mean, could it be, to be totally transparent, could it be a bit of a misrepresentation or a rearrangement of what I actually lived and remembered and applying it to now? It could be, but, I have a very vivid recollection, and I really don't think that it is. Like, I remember, and he was only there for a couple of years, I remember staying up late and watching the Knicks on Channel 9 with Bernard King and Bill Cartwright and Hubie Brown and Rory Sparrow and Darrell Walker, Pat Cummings, that squad. Trent Tucker, obviously. Like, but way before Patino came over in 87 with Mark Jackson and that crew, Rod Strickland. And back then, the Knicks road games, like the Rangers, were on Channel 9. And I remember, and I was so young, and I had to go to bed. Sneak the TV on. Not that they cared. They knew I was probably watching the game, but I was mesmerized by the Knicks. Like, I wanted to be a baseball player, but the Knicks just, I don't know, man. Like, I've even said a few times, I don't know if I really mean it, but J-Rod, I've said a couple of times in my life, not that I was really good, but whatever level I played at in baseball, like, man, I wish I could have been as good in basketball as I was in baseball, meaning, play Division I basketball.
Yeah.
If I actually was granted that wish, outside of maybe being healthier and being better, and maybe working on different things earlier, whatever, I would have changed a couple things. But I don't know if I would actually pull that lever. Like, if I had the ability to pull that lever and then just transport myself back to a high school senior and go play D1 basketball over baseball, I love baseball too much. I don't think I wouldn't do it. But there was just something about the Knicks and the CYO and getting the sneakers and, like, especially, you got to understand this. This feeds into my fandom. When I was, obviously, when Bernard was there early, they were very good. Then he got hurt, right? And then the Knicks were awful. The Knicks were absolutely morbid, right? There were stories, and you can go and find this, where they would be like, try to think about this, Jay. 11, 12,000 people at Madison Square Garden for Knicks game. People don't believe me, but if you know, St. John's was bigger than the Knicks. So I've got this force of, I love basketball. I'm not particularly good. I'm okay. I love basketball. I love Bernard King. And then just as he goes down and he gets hurt, St. John's goes to the Final Four, and then the Knicks draft Patrick Ewing. And then Rick Pitino comes and they bring in this style that nobody's deploying, shooting threes and all the, like, I had a lot of Mattingly posters, but most of my posters were hoops posters.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's one of the hardest questions that anybody could ask me pertaining to my fandom, because I've seen the Knicks win, obviously. St. John's is bad. I mean, St. John's championship would be amazing because I'd be in the middle of it, calling the games with Mink. But, like, what would mean more, a Knicks championship or a Jets Super Bowl? It's always been the Knicks.
Yeah. I mean, you went through, but I just think, and you said this last time, like, the Knicks just, I think, have such a special place in the childhood of so many, Generation X, typically, kind of that age range. Like, they just have a soft spot for those, 90s era Knicks when they were truly iconic.
Oh, gosh.
And to this day, I feel like that love, still remains and still brings about, like, a strong sense of nostalgia. So,
yeah. You want to laugh?
Too.
So back in, what was it, 82, 83? And it was so long ago, and I don't even know how I watched these games. I still, to this day, I'm sure I could figure it out, but I don't remember what channel I watched these games on. I don't know. It was pre-MSG. I don't think I was watching them on the national level. It may have been Channel 9. Maybe WOR back in the day. And this was Bernard King. This is how much I love basketball. And this is how much I love the Knicks, right? Bernard King averaged 43 points a game against the Pistons. And he had the flu and he had multiple broken fingers. You go back, you just look and find, and if you could slap it up, that just make sure there's no trademark by it. Don't even slap it.
All right.
You will find Bernard King during that series against Isaiah and Chuck Daly, Kelly Tripucka, Ken Benson.
Oh, my gosh.
At this, like, way before Rodman and those boys, right? He has got his fingers taped.
Yep.
Right? Okay. And he had the flu. And his team wasn't that good. It was him. Like I named everybody, like Rory Sparrow, Darrell Walker, Trent Tucker. Like they were C players, no disrespect. And I would go in the yard. I would take my dad's. Now I think he had white tape, but we had like that. The
Dapper tape.
Like we would use it as a hockey puck, the electrical tape.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And it's very hard. Like it doesn't like rip off, like it stretches. That's like it's like a pain in the ass. And I didn't have a scissor, so I'm biting it off. And I would tape my fingers like Bernard King and go in my backyard and shoot hoops and pretend I was Bernard King.
That's so cool.
I always threw the ball off the stoop, pretended I was Mattingly or a shortstop, making plays and hitting home. Yeah, but it was just. I don't know. Basketball's different. It's a different energy. It's maybe I don't want to say it's a deeper connection because baseball's in my soul more than anything else. But man, this has been such a joyous ride. And I want blood. I want broom and I want sweep and I want history. I want belt to ass destruction tonight. And I think we're going to get it. And I'll tell you why I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it because the Knicks haven't even played well yet. They've had a couple of players who played well, but if you look at the last plus minus, I'm going to pop it up right now for just that point of reference. I know Cat was plus. I know Alvarado, who didn't shoot well. I don't think he hit a shot. He was plus minus. I think Deuce may have been plus. But OG was -9. Cat was game 2. Cat was plus 11. Josh Hart, who's not shot the ball well at all, was -3. Mikal Bridges was plus 7. Then you had Brunson -10. Mitch Robinson -10. And then you had Shamet. Forgot Shamet was the other one. That's my guy. I love Shamet. You know that. +9. Alvarado. This is kind of hard to do. No, Deuce was -1, so I was wrong on that. Alvarado was -11, plus 11. And he only played 10 minutes, and he didn't hit a shot. He had a couple of free throws. He was 0 for 4 overall. He was 0 for 2 from downtown. And those are the details in the weeds that you really have to watch this team to understand that there's no crack. There's no break. There's a little bend. Sure. There's a little bend. But the Knicks is one of the greatest compliments I could give a pro athlete and by extension, a team, a collection of pro athletes. Do you know how hard it is to be comfortable when you're uncomfortable? That sounds like a contradiction, but it's not. Most people, when they're uncomfortable, they're uncomfortable. And, if you don't like to speak, just because none of us could relate to being an NBA player in the finals, say, and I don't even mean a public speaker like myself with motivational speaking or doing a show, stuff like that. Even a class project, if you don't enjoy that and you're uncomfortable speaking in front of a room, whether it's a presentation in the boardroom or whatever it might be, reading something in church or in temple, I don't care what it is. If you're uncomfortable doing it, you're going to go up there. Yeah, you might get a couple of beads of sweat. Your mouth might get a little dry. Your hands might get a little sweaty. That you could feel that heart actually racing. But then to be able to do it well, even though all those things are flying through your mind and your body, that is being comfortable, being uncomfortable. And Knicks get down 13-14. They don't give a shit. They're not uncomfortable. It's a testament to everybody in the organization. It's not just Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, and it's not just Mike Brown. It's that entire coaching staff, which is phenomenal. And there's been stories written about that and how Mike delegates and empowers his staff, which is a great thing. You think Pat Riley's letting, that staff, back in the day, or even Jeff Van Gundy, have that presence in a huddle during a game when you're down 9 points, say in the third, or down 14 points in the third quarter? I don't know. You think they're going to acquiesce? Sure. Go ahead. Tell them what's on your mind. I mean, maybe on the practice court, Pat might take a step back or Jeff might take a step back. Tom Thibodeau might take a step back. But Mike Brown has the instinct and the comfort level and the trust in the men that he has brought in. He has empowered them, and the team knows it. So everybody, not just the stars or the head coach or Leon Rose or the owner, the Knicks organizationally are incredibly comfortable being uncomfortable. And that is so hard to do. It's so rare because, as good as the Warriors, were dynasty, and I don't envision the Knicks being a dynasty, but you never know with this group. Let's get the first one before we worry about two. But the Knicks, if and when they win these next two, obviously, as we touched on at the top of the show, 15 straight playoff wins. They will tie the dynastic Warriors as the greatest. Again, I know that might not be as great as Jordan's teams or Willow or whatever, Lakers, Magic, whatever. I don't care. I'll let other people debate that. I just want the trophy, but I also want that top line billing. 9 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, however we're consuming this stuff, God willing, we're all still here. Hey, most consecutive wins all time, NBA playoffs, Warriors, Knicks, right? Now, that Warriors team, they just basically beat the shit out of everybody. They just bludgeoned you from jump. There's Steph from three. There's Clay there's Draymond getting downhill, getting to the bucket. I mean, there's Livingston. I'm talking about, there's God, what was why am I forgetting the big dude? Andrew, Bogut.
Oh yeah, classic.
Bogut, early on with that team, they would just play downhill. They'd come out of the tunnel and they would. I'm not saying they didn't have a tough game or two, but they just destroyed you. And it's like, Uncle, mercy, tap it out. You knew that they were so much better. I don't know that the Knicks are so much better than everybody. I just know they're so much more resilient and tougher than everybody. And then you mix in the good amount of talent that they do have. That's the championship elixir right there. Let's go. Historically, bench guys and role players play much better at home. If that's the case, it's going to be a quick end of the series. Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I actually listen. You can get that down. I got it, Jay. Yes, that has been a mantra that many people have espoused for years, and for a long time, it's been true. Whether it's like the Robert Ory's, or I mentioned Livingston from the Warriors, or Iguodala, who's probably better than a role player, but you know what I mean. Guys like that, right? Kyle Korver hitting threes, Steve Kerr, some of those figures in NBA history. Even like Danny Ainge with those Celtics teams, he's like the fourth or fifth best player with Bird, McHale, and obviously Robert Parrish, etc. Like a Michael Cooper type, dude like that, Byron Scott early. But I think it's changed a lot in the NBA. Now tonight's going to be different, and the Garden's just different. I don't think home court influence has the influence that it once did. I think a lot of it is tied to the price of the tickets. Instead of getting that lunatic, crazy, maniacal fan of whatever team, and it's all relative to the city and the pricing, whatever. Somehow there's going to be a lot of Knicks fans that are, crazy and maniacal that do find their way into the building tonight, but not as many in the 90s, just based on the sheer costs. So I don't know. I don't feel like it's, I don't know, Jay, do you feel the same way being a lot younger, like home court advantage in the NBA, even Yankees Stadium, now it's a different construction. It's not as intimidating, but nobody's scared coming into Yankee Stadium anymore. You see more.
I'm glad you said that, because yesterday really showed that to me. I didn't hear a "Let's Go Yankees" chant until they were up 5-1 in the 8th inning. It was a crazy showing.
Front runners? I mean,
a little bit.
Let's not go nuts. I know you started.
I'm not going to go nuts. I'm not going to go nuts here, but that's definitely the energy I caught in my section yesterday.
Yeah, it's kind of hard when you got like 4 hits and you got like 1 run. I mean, it's just Yankees, that's a good win. Yeah, I'm not going to complain about it.
No, it's tough to get up for it, certainly. It was a grinder game. Rangers Suarez, that dude is a beast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think home court advantage has lost a lot of flair, especially in the NBA over the past few seasons, where some of these playoff teams have illustrated better playoff road records, even than home records. The Celtics did it in 2024. And other teams have shown it as well. So to me, I don't know, home court advantage, especially with the Knicks. I mean, they're the one team in the NBA where it probably means the least to, because it's almost always a home court game for them, or you'll at least always get that kind of fan pop, no matter what stadium you're in.
I feel like hockey, but then again, I'm not the biggest hockey fan. I think hockey's maintained that maybe a little bit more than some of these other sports and venues here, but yeah, I do think it's changed a bit. Yeah, this Jimmy Carvelis, Butch Beard, yeah, bullseye. That was what Jimmy would say. That was a good team. You nailed the Jets. Jets killed Carl. I don't know what that's about. Carl 13. But you're not wrong. I have no idea what the hell this means. Is there a BT Unleashed in San Antonio? What's
All right,
that guy
so-
saying on his YouTube channel? Right, I don't know what this means.
I was trying to decipher it at first too. So what he's saying is there like a parallel YouTube channel of a guy in San Antonio who's doing like the same exact thing we do?
I don't
right
know.
now he's going, ah! He's
I don't
going
know.
like, we
I don't
gotta
know,
win tonight. This is do or die. Or he's going
that
like
wrestling promo.
Yeah, or he's doing like a little Kevin Millar. I watched that doc last night.
I like
too.
Kevin Millar.
The 04 Sox doc. And like the Spurs guy, he's going, don't let us get one right now.
Don't let us get one.
There's like a Spurs YouTuber and he's going, the Spurs win tonight. They're winning the NBA.
There's got to be one of them.
Six.
I can't listen. They are used to winning championships. I can't imagine they're waving the white flag. They're probably saying, all right, Wemby, go get us 40. Go get us. There you go. Good job. Good interpretation. There you go. Thank you very much. Good job. Good instincts, Jay. There's probably, I mean, if I'm a Spurs fan, even though he's had some rough games here, some good moments, but rough games as he learns what this is all about. Talking about, Wemby, of course, they got to be sitting there thinking, go get 40 and 20. Have a monster throwback. Go beat Tim Duncan. Go beat David Robinson. Go do it, And, I mean, they can think that all they want. It's not going to be enough for them to win the series here. I don't know if there's a San Antonio BT Unleashed version.
I really do. I do wonder because
Jay, there might be. But think about this. Number one, that guy had to have been on whatever the most prominent sports radio station is out there, and that station had to tell that guy to get out, and then he had to start his own YouTube channel. I don't know. It's a pretty unique road.
I mean, the question it brings to me is there as popular of a community of sports content creators for other cities as there is New York? I know Boston has a big.
There are. I think that there's some,
and I'm sure Chicago and Philly has a super strong
Patriots, the Eagles.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure San Antonio has some sort of channel or YouTuber who's got that. I gotta find this guy. How
about Charles Barkley? He was just so raw the other night. He's like,
oh my god,
he's like taking him out to the woodshed. What do you say? But boot to ass? Whatever he's saying. I love it. Him and now you were at the watch party. Him and Charles were getting a little spicy at halftime.
I know. That was the one thing. I mean, I was getting texts from people. Like, my boy texted me about it at home.
Yeah,
even. And, like, that was the one thing they didn't have up, at the game, was they didn't really have any of that commentary going down.
No, they're boys, but they've got that.
They love it.
They've got an adversarial, relationship, but they're boys. So they could go to a place where – you could diss each other or whatever. You could get loud, and that it's going to eventually fizzle out, but they love jabbing the shit out of each other. Shaq's like, dude, you got no rings. Like, when he gets mad, and I don't like that. Like, he could just drop the mic, and he does. What do you know? You got no rings. And then
And then you're stuck. Then Chuck can't say anything.
No, then he'll say, yeah, maybe if you were in better shape, you would have, what like they do, there's always more. And then Kenny's like, all right, kids, are we done? Can we get out of the sandbox here? Hey, listen, let's do this now. I'm gonna get to the calls right after this. It is a Monday.
Oh my gosh.
What?
No. I mean, we're here. We have burning questions. Let's do it.
Let's go, man. Time now. 3 burning questions. Let's have a little fun with this. I'm gonna do it quick. I was thinking about doing it tomorrow, but tomorrow's gonna be about all recap of the game. So, of course, burning questions brought to you by Sullivan Papain, one of New York's best personal injury law firms, according to U.S. News and World Report. General counsel to the New York City Firefighters Union for more than 4 decades, and the proud law firm partner of St. John's Athletics. Sullivan Papain is New York's team, fighting for New Yorkers for more than 100 years. You can find them online at triallaw1.com. That's triallaw1.com. Remember the name, Sullivan Papain. I'm gonna sprinkle in some other stuff here. Keep it moving kind of quick. Number one, just how good has Cam Schlittler been this year? Wow. All right. First of all, if this keeps up, he's going to run away with the Cy Young. Right now, he's plus 100. Just to give you a sense of where the other guys are. Dylan Cease, who had the hamstring, but he's all right. Plus 550. DeGrom is also plus 550. He is 7-3 with a 1.87 ERA. He's got a 0.887 whip. His Savant page is all red, 99 percentile pitching run value, 100% value, fastball run value. Here's a crazy stat for you. I got 2 things, and we'll get to the second question. Number one, there are 2 Yankees ever. Yanks been around a minute, as we know. 2 Yankees with a sub 1.90 ERA and at least 85 strikeouts or more. in their first 14 games to start a season. Number one, Ron Guidry, his great season back in 1978. And number two, yep, you guessed it, Cam Schlittler. He is ridiculous, man. And how about this? The 3 games he's pitched against Boston, including the playoffs there, 3 games, he is 21 2/3 innings, a 0.83 ERA, 22 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Suck on that, Boston. Number 2, he's been phenomenal. He is great. Just stay healthy. Speaking of health, all right, are you surprised how quickly Tigers ace Tarek Skubal has begun rehab? I am. Yeah, I was really nothing short of amazing. And the procedure is called a nanoscope procedure. So basically, when he got hurt, the projection, and based on other injuries before this, the typical timeline is 2 to 3 months. All right. He had surgery May 6th. What's today's date? I don't know. June 8th. He pitched yesterday, AAA. So June 7th. So 1 month and 1 day. Keep in mind, 2 to 3 window, usually 5 scoreless innings, 6 strikeouts, AAA. All right. So it is amazing. So it's great for him. It's great for the Tigers so they could trade him, and they will. And it's great for modern medicine and future pitchers who will deal with this because, you get those loose bone chips, those fragments that kind of, just impede the entire range of motion. And it's a problem. Like it hurts. It's obviously not nearly as invasive as Tommy John, but they are perfect. And even with Tommy John, with that reinforcement brace that they put in there after the surgery. So medicine is just amazing. And he's one of those dudes, he's already throwing gas. He's already back. So that is good. Number 3, a little football. There you go. What's the most compelling NFL minicamp storyline? Oh, boy, there's a lot. No water. Obviously, Daniel Jones's ruptured Achilles coming back from that. I would say Joe Brady definitely taken up in Buffalo. I would say Lamar's new head coach, Jesse Minter, defensive-oriented. That's going to be interesting. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes' physical progress, hoping for a week 1 return. I got to tell you, though, I think it's what's going on with the Browns, Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. I think that, Todd Monken, this was interesting to me. Monken says that he wants to enter camp with the starter. So minicamp is where these reps are really being won. Now, generally, that's not the case. If there's a quarterback battle, it's going to be generally decided in training camp. But they're looking to get to training camp with the starter in tow. Now, we know about Watson. We know everything about Deshaun Watson. But from a football money point of view, 201 of the dumbest deals ever, maybe the worst deal in the history of pro sports, any sport. $230 million guaranteed fully. He's made 19 of 68 for a multitude of reasons, possible starts. So I think that's an interesting one. Deshaun Watson, Sanders. I actually think Watson's, I don't really think Shedeur's that great. I don't know, so Watson's past what he ever was, but I think that Watson's going to win that job. That's what I think is going to happen. Either way, it's an interesting watch. There you go. I wanted to run through it quick. Always a Monday staple here on BT Unleashed. 3 burning questions brought to you by my friends at Sullivan Papain. Find them online at trial01.com. That's trial01.com. Remember the name, Sullivan Papain. All right, let's keep the juice going. Let's get the calls up. Let's go. Who's up first here? Let's get the Knicks. Go ahead, Jay.
Got our friend ST from London.
ST, you better be talking Knicks here because I'm not deviating with anything else. What's up, brother?
No, I'm good. Born weekend to you, BT. Yes, I'm talking Knicks, man. And I actually, to be fair, you've said a lot, especially with Jay. So what I wanted to do today, as opposed to asking questions, I wanted to just give you a little bit of an anecdotal take because that's kind of what the flavor of your show is today.
Okay.
It's so funny. First point I want to make is like this final. I was thinking about this over the weekend. This final is so good for the NBA as a product. We know that like Adam Silver has by hook or by crook has slowly dilapidated and just completely sucked the life out of the NBA. So much so that I can't even believe the likes of you and your contemporaries are saying, that the regular season is a joke and the game should be shortened. That kind of really stuck me wrong. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I was just bringing it up.
Yep.
So that kind of really weighed on my mind. And that's why I said, like, this final is so good because first off, no one likes OKC. They have the ability to build a dynasty, but they got stopped by the Spurs, right? The most likely of teams to make it are the New York Knicks. They have a solid season for the past 4 years. We've been in the playoffs, which is great. But when you look at how Boston completely gutted their team after the Tatum injury, and they just pretty much got rid of Porzingis and they just like mailed it in, the fact that Jaylen Brown stepped up and they took the number 2 seed from us was insane. Detroit, on the other hand, just no one could catch them at all. There was no chance, no hope. Now you look at the way the Knicks have been playing, and like you said earlier in the show, 12 wins on the spin is just really, that can't be ignored. So when I'm listening to my family members and friends sitting here saying like, no, you guys will fumble it, or, you're going to choke, the Spurs are the Spurs, I'm just like, you guys are not paying attention to basketball. You're really not. Because to win that many games, especially in high pressure situations, as the NBA playoffs always are, is just unfathomable. Like, it doesn't make sense. And teams that do that are absolutely incredible and are deserved champions. That's number one. Number two, I wanted to say, like, this, I got friends over here that are peripheral basketball fans, right?
Okay.
They're not Yanks like us. So they are British, and they very much do appreciate the sport, but they don't watch it. They're not diehard like us, right? Anyway, it was so funny because, and this is where I really want you to give your take on it. It's so funny because I'm an older man, and I'm a Knicks fan, and I was saying to my friend who's from Ghana, I was like, listen, you really don't understand how important this finals is to me. I was like, as someone who has watched the Knicks their entire life, who have seen us come close and yet no cigar, I go, the fact that I'm a Jets supporter, and I've resigned the fact that I will probably never, ever in my lifetime see a Jets Super Bowl.
We will, but keep going. We will.
I've resigned my fact. I've resigned my life to that, and that's okay.
All right.
And obviously the Yankees, serial winners.
Yep.
It's great. Like, that's fine. But to see a Knicks championship means so much. You're talking about crying. I don't think I'll cry, but I will just be sat comatose for at least 4 days, smiling. You couldn't wipe the smile off my face if the Knicks do this, especially if they put that belt to that ass and do this in a sweep. That you couldn't have it any better. And the thing is, like, they might not ever run it back. They might not do back-to-back. It's very hard to do. This is why Jordan is the greatest.
Yeah.
This is why Jordan is the greatest. But the whole thing is, like, just to get that one moment of actually seeing a team that you love, that you have a relationship with. They don't need, Cat doesn't know who we are. Brunson doesn't know who we are. Bridges doesn't know who I am. But we're rooting for these men. They literally have the weight of an entire city and people that love and support them all across this planet on their backs. So for them to do this, and to do this in the fashion that they're doing it, means so much to so many people. So when I tell my friend, like, you don't understand, like, how much this means until you see my face. He'll understand it then. And he'll understand.
Well, SD, think about this, buddy, and enjoy tonight. Check back in, brother. Good call. Good first call. Always love when you call here. You tell your buddy that he doesn't need to know how you feel. That's the thing. I know that you're being a good friend trying to explain to him. I respect that for sure. But you tell it's what you feel is what we feel. And the crazy thing, and Jay, like, this is for a deeper conversation on a different day, so I'll just hit it very much on a surface level. Are certain fan bases whose entire identity is trying to win, frustration, grit. Like, what happens, now Evan, I think, is a different kind of a fan, but what happened in a good way? What happens to all those Met fans whose entire existence has been torment, who didn't see the 86 championship? When they win, do you become are you placated? Do you lose some of that urgency? Same with the Jets, same when the Browns win, same with the Knicks, even though the Knicks have been good for a couple of years and, had a lot of good runs in the 90s, as we know, there's certain fan bases whose entire personality is based on the pursuit of a championship, a pursuit of a goal that seems so unattainable. When you get it, where do you go?
Yeah, I have no clue. Wait, there's some interesting news follow up. Wow,
What's
wow.
up? What's up?
Also, Avery Summit's coming from my JOB, bro.
Yeah, what's up? Brendan Sorsby
B gets injunction for NCAA.
Wow.
And he got reinstated.
Wow.
He's eligible to play
Wow.
for Texas Tech again.
Wow. That's big. I can't let that derail it now, but we've done shows on that. And I was sitting here saying that I would do a third-round pick for the supplement. It's a blind draft, obviously. I'm not going to get back into the weeds on that. You guys either get it or you don't. But, I mean, shit, if I'm Sorsby, I'm going to take my $10, $12, $15 million from the Red Raiders, go there, put up some massive numbers, and throw my hat in the quarterback ring next year. Wow. I did not think he was going to. Number one,
Neither did I, man.
And it happened so fast. The NCAA, these courts, I don't even pretend to understand it fully with this injunction. I understand the whole supplemental thing. I did not think he was going to be granted this extra year. That is big news. And I guess we'll never know the answer. I mean, maybe he could shock us and say I'm coming out anyway. But, you know, the fact that nobody's going to be putting blind, or I don't think anybody will put blind bids in, is interesting. So I'm very curious what the highest bid would. I think somebody may have been a little reckless and gone second. I would not do that. I've always said third, 100% fourth round, and then anything past that is a given. You just throw a dart, maybe you get lucky. But, that's big news. All right, I'd like my producer to hit me with that instead of a listener. But, hey, that's what J-Rod's got his hands full. The other thing, too. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do when all you know is pain. All you know is hurt. All you know is being less than, what everybody, or seemingly, not everybody, but seemingly so many other fan bases have. It's like jealousy. It's awe. It's everything in between. The Spurs, the Lakers, the Celtics, I know. It's like after a while, it's like, come on, man. Come on already. The Chiefs, can we get something else here? And, if and when these two more wins come, it's going to be not only in the ensuing days. I mean, that's just going to be a party. I mean, the Canyon of Heroes, everybody partying, going nuts. Then you're going to wake up hungover, tired, exhausted, spent, feeling amazing, all those crazy emotions at once. And then you'd be like, dude, where do I go for it? Yes. And you're going to quickly recalibrate and regenerate and be like, all right, let's go for two. Who are we getting this summer? I know, but there's something to be said for the chase. And I have always said that my favorite part is now it's different because the Knicks have never won in my lifetime. But to me, I've always enjoyed that slow ascent.
Yeah.
Almost the championship. This sounds counterintuitive because you're a fan and you want to see a championship. But I've really enjoyed going from the ashes to competitive. And then from competitive to truly viable. And then from truly viable, obviously, would be the championship window. Hey, by the way, you know what's funny, Jay?
What?
I want to read this here. I want to give you exact numbers. So we always reference 73, last Knicks championship. And at that point, Clyde was eventually traded, went to the Cavaliers. I think that was 77, whatever year that was. Maybe 78. The attendance, you guys know, you young guys know nothing but a sold-out Garden with A-listers and rappers and actors and politicians and artists and all that stuff, right? Well, a couple of years as the championship got further and further in the rearview mirror. So now they reconfigured it a bit with the change in the arena, but when I was growing up, it was always 19,763. It's the attendance. It's still in the neighborhood, but it's not exactly that right now. So just as a point of reference, 19,763. They averaged 17,150 in 76, 77. Then that number went to 16,000 the next year. Check this out. In 78, 79, it's down to 14,700. So a 5,000 lower. In 1979, 1980, the Knicks averaged 12,800 fans a game. Wow. 12,000. So when I told you, I thought it was maybe 10 or 11. I was in the neighborhood. Like those empty pictures or those older pictures of Clyde's gone. It's before Bernard King. It's a couple of years before Pat. Mm-hmm. It was crickets, man. Nobody cared. There were some deeper issues, which are very unfortunate. A lot of people, there was one, I don't know who wrote it. And it's reprehensible and it's unfathomable to think about this now. but just to juxtapose life and different eras, somebody wrote an article saying that the Knicks I think it was in 1979, 19 were too black. Yeah. Oh no, that was a real thing. Yeah, it was. Go do some research. That was a real thing.
Oh my God.
And then,
God.
yeah, I mean, you think about the New York Knickerbockers. There were people that were throwing out other stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure, bro.
So now, like, I'm not saying that race never permeates conversation. It does still, unfortunately, with certain things in our world. But think about, number one, how much the world has changed in that regard favorably, but also just imagine even thinking about sitting down at a typewriter in 1979, 1980, crafting an article, and then your editor, you're saying, yeah, we're going to print this. Knicks are too black. And I don't know if it's a direct correlation because they weren't that good either that year, but was it because of that the numbers dropped to a number that were to number I gave you? There was definitely a correlation. To what extent, I don't know. I can't prove it. I don't know. But yeah, there was a massive drop in attendance for a lot of reasons. All right, next caller. Who do we got here, Jay? Hook it up.
That's insane. We've got our friend James from Hoboken.
James, what's happening, buddy? How are you?
Hey, BT. Super pumped for tonight, man. I can't wait. Yeah. Gonna be insane.
Yep.
Yeah. So one thing you mentioned before even the series started, which I totally agree with, I think you were spot on, was the Spurs. They're completely physically overmatched. I mean, you could see it in the last game where OG drives the baseline. He completely bodies Wemby, even though he's like 5 or 6 inches taller than him, and he just goes straight up and he dunks on him. I think the fact that they can overcome them physically, I think, is a big factor in why they're up 3-0.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And listen, by the way, I pointed to this. Listen, I had great confidence, James. I know you did as well, that the Knicks were going to win this series. And there was a lot of, and I get it, when you haven't won forever, and literally ever in our lifetime, there's always going to be that trepidation. It's not overconfidence. Like, so you want to kind of thread that needle of like, okay, it's never easy, but pragmatically speaking, the Knicks have more men. They're just older, more physically developed. They're stronger. They're deeper, which is why you better clip them now, which we all believe that they will. But yeah, you are seeing the difference in a Wemby before 17, 18, 20 pounds of pure muscle. Same with Dylan Harper, and same with, even Castle and others. They're just a young team that is just physically inferior. They're incredibly skilled, and they're going to have the NBA on lock forever. But right now, this is the Knicks' time. They have to win, and they will.
Yeah, it almost, in hindsight, I'm glad that they were able to face the Spurs instead of the Thunder. I think they would have been both. I think they would have beat both teams, but
yeah.
If you can see, the difference between experience, between the Spurs and Thunder,
Yep.
Definitely
I do listen. I think certainly that Cat and thanks for the call there, James. Enjoy the game. Have a blast. Geez, I remember what it was like when I lived in Hoboken, and I lived there for a couple of years up in the shipyards, which was great, which was absolutely all. I loved it. Right by the ferry and all that stuff. And I mean, think about Hoboken. I mean, just the main stretch of bars when the Knicks actually win this thing. It's going to be bonkers, dude. And real quick, this is from AI, but this is all right. 1979, 1980 Knicks made NBA history as the first team to field an. Oh, I didn't know it was the first team. As the first team to field an all-black roster after Coach Red Holtzman cut remaining white players, a move that sparked significant media and public discussion regarding race in the league. Columns from the era, such as Red Smith, that was the gentleman's name, Red Smith in the New York Times, highlighted the tensions and scrutiny surrounding the team's racial composition, and it went on and on and on. So, yeah, I just wanted to back that up. You talk about race, you don't want to just throw stuff out there. I wanted you guys to know where that was coming from for sure. That's absolutely wild to think about. BT, did you see Sal's show with Parcells and his girlfriend? I saw a clip. I don't know if it was a show. I think he had Bill on for a couple of minutes from the race, which is good. Bill Parcells is doing all right for himself. Yeah, I mean, beautiful. It's good for Bill. That's awesome, man. As long as he's happy. The one thing, and she's much younger, and that's why I think, I'm getting asked the question. As long as you're of age, who am I to judge, not to sound corny, like love. I mean, listen, I understand it. There's a lot of gold diggers out there. There's a lot of guys who are just saying, shit, I don't care, man. I'm 75 years old. I need a pill just to whatever make happen. And I don't care. Like I'm divorced or God forbid my wife passed away or I never got married and I've got a gazillion bucks in the bank that I'm really not leaving anybody. Fuck it. Why wouldn't you do the same thing? You know?
I can't blame the cat.
No way, man. Bill Parcells, the man on and off the field. Did you see the picture?
Of course I did. Of course I did.
Very pretty.
She's gorgeous, man.
Gorgeous. Not gorgeous. Yeah, gorgeous. Now, she's not like in her 20s, just to be.
No.
If I had to take a guess, 40s maybe?
Yeah, early 40s, late 30s probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There you go. Who's this? We got Boss Girl 8. BT coming in late from Arizona. Salute, West Coast. There you go. Love it. Starting to get more and more stretch those boundaries of Unleashed here. Do you think the refs can get away with the shenanigans they pulled in San Antonio at the Garden? No. I mean, I listen, there is a review. We talked about this extensively, so I know you obviously a time difference. Go back, check out the show and dive into some of the earlier content. I talked about that extensively. You know, it's one thing to miss a couple of calls, even though we have replay and these guys are really good. You know, it's no one's going to be 100 for 100. It's not realistic with how big these guys are, how skilled they are, you know, the footwork, the manipulation of like pivot foot and just these crazy shots, man. In real time, it is very hard to pick out every travel and every foul and whatever. Some things are more obvious than others. So I understand that. And I just know that that's the game. But what you can't do, and to answer your question more directly, I believe that this will not be a problem tonight. You cannot have, establish one kind of set of rules or parameter of physicality, which they had early for sure in the game, and then start blowing the whistle on bullshit, or ignoring the whistle, even though there was a physical tone that was set. I mean, Alvarado gets clipped around the neck by Wemby. What are we doing? That's why are you doing that? Because it's Alvarado? Are you doing it because you missed it? Would you do that if that was Jalen Brunson getting put in the headlock? I don't know the answer to that. Doesn't matter. Whether it's the first guy, the superstar, or the 12th man, who we haven't even seen in this series, that's ridiculous. The flagrant, oh, wow, they rescinded it. Fantastic. So he won't get fined. Okay, great. But what if it cost him a game with Mitch and Wemby? No, the NBA, I know everybody's got the theories and all that stuff. I would have to think that tonight, you'll see a little less stuff allowed early. So you'll get a little bit of a tighter whistle, I think. And I believe and I hope that is sustained from the opening tip to the final buzzer. There just can't be deviations because now you have people guessing. The players. We get frustrated because we're watching. Imagine being a player. I don't think many of you look at it this way, but you just know, you're basically handed a script. Now it's up to you to interpret that. Okay, I got away with this. Oh, okay. I got clipped going to the rim. They let it go. They're letting us go tonight. Okay. So know that as a player, you can stretch those boundaries a little bit more. And the smarter you are, and the more you incorporate that, and then suddenly it shifts on a dime and it reverses. You're like, well, that's what's frustrating. So that can't happen. But I don't really expect officiating to be a main reason or a main point of contention. And if it is, then that's just unacceptable. It's got to be about the stars. It's got to be about the game. It's got to be about the players. All right, J-Rod, next up.
Oh, wait, hold up. I think he's up right now.
He's up. Standing up. Maybe last call of the day here. What do we got? I can get a chat if you want.
There we go. We got him. We got him.
Who do we got? We've
got the man himself, Seth.
Oh, Seth. Take it away, Seth.
Hey, man. Am I basically the only guy in the room who's taking the more cautious approach to this? Sure, I'm happy the Knicks are 2 away from the title, but we can't get sloppy.
Understood. So you think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here? We might be. I hear you.
We got ahead of ourselves in '93 when we thought we had Jordan and the Bulls on the ropes.
I don't know if we got ahead of ourselves back then, like we are now. This is a little different. Wemby's not Jordan. He's not Wilt. He's not Shaq yet.
You get the point, though.
I get the point. Oh, listen. Understood. So you think that we should take the more prudent path,
right?
Yeah, I don't like the prudent path here. I want to smoke these guys in 4, and I believe that even though I said Knicks in 5, so I wouldn't be stunned if they lose a game. But all right, I get it. I think that's a sensible take. Although coming from you, we don't really like sensibility. We like Seth to be all over the map, worked up. You've been very sedate the last couple of times you called Seth, and people want to know why. Like, I don't know if you read the chats. Everybody's like, "What's going on with Seth? Why is he so calm?"
I'm not really calm. It's just that the rate. It's just I'm bubbling at the surface with either it's going to be excitement or rage, depending on how the finals play out. And I've been overly tense with this.
Well, Seth, I would have to. Okay, I understand the excitement. Well, let's substitute euphoric for excited or excitement. And what was the other word you used? Rage.
Yeah.
I would think I would have to go to a different emotion, kind of the same well, but a different drop of water. I think it'd have to go to broken, or like a synonym for broken. That's not hitting me right now. I think that inconsolable. If the Knicks lost this series, rage would not be my first emotion. I would be broken. Mm-hmm. There's a difference. Now I would eventually get around to rage, because if they blow this, then a whole lot of guys messed up and shit the bed, and now we got to start firing people, and we get back to the old school ways. But that's not going to happen. But I would be inconsolable, and I would be broken if they did not win this series at this point.
I mean, when it comes to football, fair. I mean, when it comes to football, the Giants and Jets have more or less broken me.
I got you, buddy. I got you. All right, so where are you watching the game tonight, Seth? Are you a loner? Are you a bar guy? Watch party?
I'm more at home.
Home.
I live in a basement apartment. My mother lives above me.
Okay. How old are we, Seth? Where are you in life? I'd like to get some more details.
38.
38. All right. Girlfriend? I mean, anything going on the social scene or no?
Not really.
All right, man. Well, is it a lack of try, a lack of want, a lack of time? Maybe I can help you out a little bit.
Lack more of want, and I'm overly discerning when it comes to trying to find someone.
Look at you holding those high standards, bro. I like it, Seth. All right, overly discerning. Well put, too. I like the way you put that. You didn't say picky. You could overly discerning. Okay, just don't be so discerning where you get nothing. I mean, let's not cross that line, buddy. Maybe you got to lower the standards for a minute there, Seth.
True.
Okay, buddy. You enjoy the game, man. All right.
All right.
There you go, Seth. Oh, by the way, Mr. J-Rod, can you pop up the watch party? Let everybody know we're going to be back out at Borelli's. I have been to Borelli's 5 times for various parties and watch parties, and it is 5-0, and we will make it 6-0 on Wednesday. So we're going to be out there. It is awesome. My guy Mike Quinn, the entire crew. Mike was texting me the other day. I mean, the demand is literally, I mean, you would think it would be uncomfortable the way I'm going to describe this. Like, it was basically shoulder to shoulder, but it was not uncomfortable. Like, you could get to the bathroom, you could get to the bar, but it was shoulder to shoulder. But it was so crowded, and the demand is so hot out there in Long Beach for Borelli's that I know he's throwing up or I think he already did, throw up a couple of TVs for outside. So now maybe we incorporate the cigar. And maybe go outside. Maybe watch a quarter out there. Obviously,
oh boy, wait! They got the outside section at Borelli's.
They do. That's not. It's not a huge outside section.
Okay.
They're going to do some other stuff that I don't want to divulge yet that they were telling me about.
I'll be there Wednesday.
Yeah,
I'll be there Wednesday.
You're definitely coming.
100%. I am there.
J-Rod,
come through Wednesday. I'm there.
That is awesome,
dude. I mean, I'm just most excited to meet you, bro. I mean,
it's amazing we haven't hung out yet. I invited you last time. You couldn't make it. I understand why. Yeah, you had another commitment. You had a musical rehearsal. Get it? But yeah, we keep. You're at the watch party. I'm at a watch. Now we watch together. Now we watch.
And
together.
Dude, I mean, you think about it. It could be. If they win tonight, oh my gosh!
I mean,
I might run home to Brooklyn from freaking Long Island, bro.
I don't know what time we're gonna get home because I walked in at 2:07 the other night.
Dude,
I might walk in at 6. They ain't leaving till 6 in the morning. I don't know. Let's worry about tonight first. But I will be at Borelli's on Wednesday, which will be absolutely awesome. Any other chats before we start wrapping things up? 2 great hours. Good job by you guys on the calls, on the chats, all that stuff. Hey, make sure you like this thing already. I should probably tell you more.
This is crazy.
I like it. What?
I never thought about it like this, but you know what? I like it.
Oh no. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's a few layers there that obviously go beyond Cat and Wemby. France, U.S. Understood. Yep. 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 I mean,
See, I
gonna be
don't
crazy.
know. When I see this, I don't think the country's behind the Knicks. I really don't. Like, I think if you're an NBA fan of a different team, I
Yep.
don't know if you want to see the Knicks win a championship. Like, I think the Knicks are kind of one of those, and even though they're not as storied, with the rings, I think they're one of those Lakers, Celtics kind of teams where people just have vitriol towards their fan base. So I
Yep.
don't know.
Yep.
I don't know if it feels like this resounding U.S. versus France. The
I agree.
U.S. fans are getting up to go against Wemby.
I
think there are
agree.
more fans who want to see. I think there are more fans, honestly, in the U.S. who want to see Wemby prevail and see Jalen Brunson.
I don't
come
know
short.
about that. I'm not saying you're wrong because I don't know.
Touch and go.
Yeah, that's a different level. I think the world wants to see Wemby win. The world,
100%.
that's a given. The country, you still get that New York shade, but it's a likable team, and
It is.
It's a very likable team, and it kind of plays into this chat. Did you see Mikhail's interview after the game? Back
Yeah,
in
that was
Boston?
that was the craziest thing
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
He's just so locked in that they don't take the bait, they don't take the cheese, they don't sniff around the hook. Seems like the most mild-mannered guy on the team, but he was pumped, but with same workman's attitude. And that is an attitude that permeates the entire building, the locker room. That's a Jay Wright thing. That's also the way those young men were raised. The one thing you hear a lot, and I get it, Villanova trio, and we miss our boy DiVincenzo, Villanova, Jay Wright, all that stuff. We definitely, there's a connection there, and I understand champions why you're going to hear a lot of Jay Wright Nova. But some people hijack it to the point where it's like Jay Wright raised these guys. Like, no. Josh Hart's, whatever Josh Hart's family did, raised an incredibly grounded and old school virtue, tough soul. Same, we know what Jalen Brunson's dad did, but his mom was there to balance whatever dad was doing in a good way. Bridges, same deal. Self-motivated, humble, very emotionally steady. So, Jay got them, and he recruited them based on the fact that they were great players, but also their emotional maturity, which obviously came before they even stepped foot on the Villanova campus. I don't know if anybody's really saying that. All right, BT, when the Knicks win this season, could you have imagined that you'd be watching the last game of the finals alongside Borelli's? No, at Borelli's.
Hell no. He didn't even know me at the beginning of this
true.
next season.
No, I knew you because we were doing the Jets stuff.
Did we do Unkillable that? Because I think I started Unkillable with you in October.
That's a good
in
point.
Later October, earlier November. I don't even know if I was in the picture, man.
You're right, dude. That's a good point. No, I would never have imagined that. No, short answer, Avery. The answer is no. So, but yet here we are. With that being said, J-Rod, have a great Monday. Knicks fans,
well. Have a good night.
Thank you, brother. No doubt, man. We're going to enjoy this. I'll see you on Wednesday. Of course, I'll talk to you later. If you go into the game, get there early, 2 hours before game time. That's an ordeal, but it's kind of once in a lifetime stuff. Obviously, enjoy it. Be safe. Be loud. That we know you're going to be. Enjoy. If the Knicks win, celebration game 3 in the streets, and just soak it all in. The thing that I do see, and I love this, is that nobody's taking this for granted. I don't mean that there aren't those of us who think the Knicks are going to absolutely close this out. You know that I do, and many of you do as well. But there's still and there better be since waiting 50 years on this damn thing. But the night to night, possession to possession investment has been beautiful to see. So enjoy it. Let's go Knicks. Bag number 3. See you tomorrow at 10. By the way, just throw one like before you get out of here already. I'm tired of saying that. Have a great Monday and enjoy the game. And tomorrow, same time, same channel. Let's roll. Go Knicks. I'll see you.
This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
With your host, Brandon Tierney.